Are you somebody like me who gets kind of irritated by all the little tiny mundane things that take up a day and you kind of feel like I don't have time to do this? And even though you know that you have to do these things or that you even want to do these things, there's just like this other part of you that's like, oh, that's it's going to take too much time. And it counters this other part of you, this sort of more logical part of you that says, no, it's going to take no time at all. Right. So you got it like this sort of internal battle of these little tiny things. Like I'm talking about like getting gas or chopping up a vegetable for a snack or a morning routine, a stretch morning routine, or folding the laundry, or canceling an appointment, or making an appointment. These things that sort of linger, that we kind of want to do and or kind of need to do, and we just tell ourselves we don't have the time to do it, so we just keep putting it off. And the more we put it off, the more we sort of tell ourselves that we're lazy or that we don't have our priorities right or what's wrong with us. Why aren't we doing these things? Oh my God, it's exhausting. So I'm going to help you out here because that was definitely me. And I fell back into it a little bit. And I'm going to give you an example. So a couple of months ago, I really wanted to get lemon juice back into my morning routine. I love lemon juice in water. I know it's really good for me. I'm not saying this is for everybody, but just for me personally, it's really good. So, but then there'd be this voice in my head going, no, you don't have time to do that. And I would just it wasn't even, it was almost like subconscious. Like I wasn't even aware of the voice sometimes or the thought. And I would just like pour water and not bother doing the lemons, even though I had lemons in my fridge. I wouldn't cut them up and squeeze them into my water. So what I decided to do was this. I was like, okay, this is kind of crazy. This is kind of ridiculous. Let's see how long it actually takes for me to create a situation that allows me access to fresh lemon juice. So I got my phone and I got on the clock app and I set the timer and off I went into the fridge, pulled out 2 lemons, got a cutting board, got a knife, cut them into wedges, squeezed one into my water, put the rest of them into a plastic container and put the container back in the fridge and hit stop on the clock. And it was under 1 minute for me to do that. And that's all it took. That's all it took for me to now cut lemon wedges from now on. I did it when I wanted to see how long it took me to pump gas way back in the winter. This was in the winter even. And I would always have this sort of belief that getting gas was this overwhelmingly long thing to do. Right? Like, I don't have time to get gas. This is crazy. It would just be like an extra frustration. And God knows we need to release some of the frustrations in our life. So this is a tool that is so handy, you guys, for all the little naggy things that are going on. I'm not talking about like big picture things. Like I'm talking about things that when you have that internal battle of, I know this is going to take a second, but I just don't want to get it done, or I just won't get it done. Time it. Time it. Two things happen. One, you get the thing done. So let's say it is booking an appointment. You're going to get online. You're going to book that blood work appointment. So you're going to get the task done that's been sort of sitting there nagging at you. And also you're going to prove to your brain that, oh, wait, actually, I do have time. You're going to gain leverage on these limiting beliefs that have been created, because a belief is just a thought you've thought over and over again, right? And a limiting belief is something that's sort of stopping you from moving forward. It's kind of like holding you in place. And the brain's doing it because it loves you and it wants to keep you safe and comfortable in sort of the status quo. And even so, it's like even something small like that, like, oh no, you don't have time. You don't have time. You don't have time. Let me prove to you don't have time. It's proving you right over and over again, because that's kind of where you want to be, well, as far as your brain's concerned. But this other part of you, so that's the part of you that's telling you to not do it, but the part of you that's telling you to do it is this part of you that's still growing and constantly growing, and it's the real you, and it's the rational you. So we just got to gain leverage over the sort of habitual, because you're not your habits. I repeat, you're not your habits. You're not your behavioral habits. You're not your emotional habits. You're not your thinking habits. You're the person behind the habits. And right now, the habitual thought of you don't have time is just driving your bus right now. And you've got to step in to say, wait a second, that's not true. I have less than a minute to cut lemons. Let me prove it to myself. And then it just kind of, boop, it just goes away. And the cool thing is, it's not just that you get the task done, but you also get this lightened sort of feeling, and it's empowering because you realize, oh, I am actually in control here. I am taking charge. I am going to go and get the gas because it takes less than 3 minutes for me to get gas, even in the middle of winter. And it just shuts that shit down. It's awesome. So I want you to do that. So your task this week is to choose two things, two mundane things that have just been driving you crazy. When you've been thinking, I really should be doing this, or I really want to do this, but there's this other part of you. We're just going to have a little sit down, that part of you. Let's show this. And I want you to do it with interest and with curiosity. Make it kind of a game. I wonder how long it will take me to do this. And when it comes to like stretching in the morning, let's say, don't like just set the timer, do some stretches, see how you feel. If you feel kind of a little more limber and flexible, then go back to the timer, hit the button, and see how long that took. For me, it took 3 minutes and 40 seconds to feel better in the morning. This was a good morning stretch. So I didn't have to go and seek out a 5-minute or a 10-minute or a 15-minute yoga stretch on the YouTubes. I know that 3 minutes and 40 seconds is plenty. I could have probably stopped earlier and still felt good. It's just that I was telling myself, I don't have 5 minutes. I don't have 10 minutes. I don't have 15 minutes. Turns out, number one, I didn't need that long. And number two, I do have the time. I just need to convince that part of my brain that it's okay. There's time. It's okay. All right. It's fun. So I want you to enjoy it. I want you to look at this with curiosity and fascination and make it a little bit of a game for your brain. And if you want to, I'm just going to look for the button here. If you want to, you can share that with me and send me an email, sarahgwellbeing@gmail.com, and let me know what you chose. Let me know what the outcome was. Let me know if it blew your mind a little bit like it did for me. Yeah, I'd be happy to chat with you about it. Okay, talk to you soon. Two things, guys, this week. Okay, bye.